Okay. What's going on, guys? Jacob Orth back here with another video of Jacob's Life in Vegas, coming to you guys filming from a secret location.
Not that secret.
Here in Southern Nevada. You guys have never seen this setup before on the channel, but if you watch Laci's channel, then you guys have seen this. Laci is the Las Vegas gal.
Hey.
So you guys, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you've seen her plenty of times. If you're new to the channel, you'll get used to seeing Laci on here, okay?
And you better get used to this mug because I'm not going anywhere.
So if Laci's on here, you guys know there's a pretty good chance we're going to be talking real estate and stuff like that. Yeah. So we're going to talk about 2021, what you can, kind of expect going forward, things that are trending in the market right now and stuff like that. So if you're looking to buy a place here in the Vegas area, Las Vegas, Henderson, North Las Vegas, whatever the case may be, there'll be links down below. You can get in touch with Laci and her team. So she's got a whole team now handling all this kind of stuff.
Yes.
So it's a big question I get from a lot of you about living here and buying here. And a lot of you right now, especially looking to get out of other states and coming here. So, 2021, that's because 2020 has already been, I would say most people would call it a disaster for the most part.
Yeah. It's a hot damn mess is what we like to call it. It's been a hot damn mess.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I've talked about the real estate a bit on my channel where, because people are wondering because they see so much negativity in the news and they see if these people are losing jobs, so many people are getting their hours cut or they're getting laid off. States are running out of unemployment money to give people. Yeah. People are wondering, how can real estate prices even possibly be this high? Because the stock market had a crash and has come back better since, March or around that time. So people thought real estate was going to fall off. Yeah. But that's not been the case.
No. And I've been saying it since day one, honestly. I've been saying, guys, I hate to break it to you. This isn't a bubble. This isn't some game we're playing. This isn't 2007 and 2008. This is a genuine, different experience that we've never had. And I knew, just because before, we've talked about this on your channel before, we already had low inventory of homes to be able to shop for anyway. We were already at, I think it was 4 months or something inventory. What that means is that's the number of homes that we typically sell on average each month. And the inventory is literally on a month-to-month basis where we decide how many homes we have to work with, right? New homes come and go every day, but it's a really big number in our industry. Based on inventory is going to always determine what goes up and goes down from a price perspective. So I knew, because we were already very limited on inventory, we had about 4 months. And we like to sit around 6, 7, 8 months, 6, 7 months. That's when it's a little bit more of an even playing field. That's when the buyers get a good deal, the sellers make a good amount of money, and nobody's getting really taken advantage of. And I knew we were already having that happen. So when the pandemic hit, of course, we were nervous and scared. And we saw about a 3-week slowdown of just kind of what's going to happen.
Just uncertainty.
Yeah. And then, we've been deemed an essential business because housing is, people need a place to live. So we've not stopped working since the beginning. And it has gotten increasingly busier every single day. And it's we're grateful, of course. But inventory has a large amount to do with whether or not our prices go up or go down or stay the same, and whether or not we have anywhere for you to live when you get here.
Right. So so it's really that we're talking supply and demand, right? We're talking basic economics here because I had mentioned this. I did a video on a couple months ago how, and we mentioned this off camera at the beginning of this year. Our inventory was already low, and prices had already been trending upwards. So people, even before this virus hit, people are wondering, are the prices going to come down in 2020? What's going to happen with real estate in the Vegas area? But with supply already being low going into the year, with supply still being low, and then obviously now with the Fed, with the interest rates you have now, is people thought interest rates were low a few years ago. Whew. So now, the interest rates getting them under 3%. For people is
well, it's never been cheaper to borrow money ever. It's almost like free money. Genuinely, if you want to borrow money, we have people who come to us and say, I could buy cash, but why would I do that if I can just get this interest rate and then whenever stuff changes or whatever, I can just pay it off later? It's really a beautiful experience for people who are fortunate enough to still have a job, fortunate enough to still have investments and finances kind of in an okay place. I think the biggest misconception, I guess, is that there's some bubble that's going to pop, or that we better hurry up and sell our houses quickly because people aren't going to be buying them next year. We've got a master reshuffle is what we're kind of calling it. Across the nation, there's been a massive reshuffle of people who are now able to work from home full time. Businesses are realizing, hey, people are more responsible than we thought back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s, right? Our whole lives. They can work from home and actually do it and be productive and not take advantage. So now that that's happening, this has been crazy to watch all these people go, wait a minute. So I don't have to live in San Francisco or New York or wherever you're living and pay astronomical fees and taxes and stuff. I can actually move to Vegas, buy a McMansion if I want to for the amount that I would have to pay for an apartment and live beautifully? Yes, the answer is yes.
Right. And that's part of what, I've seen happen. I talked to someone here locally the other day who said one of their clients is a lawyer who just moved here from Los Angeles, and he just goes to the office like once a week or once every couple weeks in LA, just because he doesn't have to be there that often. He can do most of his work remote. So that's becoming a new reality for a lot of people. And a lot of that, as I like to watch finance videos and business content and stuff like that. I heard this.
He's so smart.
I heard this point made, and it was a very good point, I thought. It was talking about people thought, what we have going on in the economy now was going to be, like you said, a bubble, right? People think, it's a crisis. Well, what happened then was a financial crisis.
It was bad loans, right?
Right. But what we have now is a health crisis. Okay. What we have going on now is a health crisis, a completely different animal. And because of the health factor, that's why you have situations where, like you said, people realize that they can live in another state and just
wherever they want.
And they can just work from home. They don't have to always be there. So the fact that this is health related is having a different impact on the economy. And then, of course, like you said, I think is going forward, as long as those interest rates are staying low, that's going to be encouraging more people to buy. So, area like here locally specifically, we've got our low inventory, but if those
We're down to 2 months of inventory right now. 2 months.
And
that's unheard of. You don't understand. That's no homes. That's nothing to sell.
And as of the making of this video, how many homes in Vegas are for sale with a swimming pool?
72. As of today, we searched any price point, $1 million down to $100, right? 72 homes in all of Las Vegas as of today.
In an area of a couple million people. There's only 72 homes.
2.2 million or something, right? Is that where we're at right now?
2.2, 2.3. I mean, over 2 million people here, and there's only 72 houses available as of making this video.
With a pool.
With a pool.
Yeah. So it's the other thing too that comes into play is a lot of people talk they don't realize even about the interest rates component, right? You mentioned that, and that has a huge impact on how much you can spend on your home. We have people who were shopping with us in March and then paused because of the jobs and they didn't know what was going on, who were already quoted a 3.25, 3.5 rate, which we at the time were like, oh my God, you got such a great rate. It's under 4. We're looking at rates as low as 2.375, 2.6, like under 3%. That's unheard of. That's free money, in my opinion. So it's really rad. So that's kind of been a cool thing that's happened. I'm not a loan officer, so I'm not an expert on rates, and that changes every day. So obviously check with a loan officer, which I know you have one that we work with very closely. But what I love about that is that it's artificially lowered by the government to infuse money into this amazing community that we have and this amazing country that we have that's dealing with the biggest horrible thing that we've ever dealt with in our lives, really. So it's a really crazy thing to see, like, this money being infused, people maybe not even understanding that that's actually a gift. That's for them. And if you're lucky enough to be able to work remote, still have a job and still have your health, that's something that should be considering taking advantage of.
Yeah, I mean, because the amount of money that people are going to be saving over a 20-year, 30-year, however many year mortgage you're going to get.
It's that much more you can spend.
Exactly.
Or save, which
you can spend it on a bigger home than you thought you could initially get. Or you can save the money and invest it somewhere else or whatever the case is. But I mean, so we have the interest rates being low. I mean, as long as those are staying low, that's going to be encouraging people to go out and buy. So if you're pushing people to buy, when you only have so many houses, those prices are going to keep going up. But also here, when it comes to like the moratorium, which affects renting and buying.
It's been so hard. Let's talk about that if you don't mind.
Good.
So there's a moratorium right now on evictions, which means if you're an investor who owns an investment home here, who rents it out, whether it's a long-term someone who lives with you tenant-wise, or if it's an Airbnb type thing, whatever. If you have a long-term tenant, you're not allowed to evict them right now. It's illegal to kick them out of the house, whether they pay their bills or not. And that was obviously done to protect people who were furloughed from their job and things like that. And it's a wonderful thing. And I know that the government has come in and given some money to those homeowners who are investors to help them offset some of that a little bit. I don't know enough about it, but I know that there's been some of that. But keep this in mind, right? So if I'm someone who says I want to move to Las Vegas and I'm excited about that 2 point whatever rate that I might get, and I do have a job and I am able to work remotely, a lot of people think they're going to come here and let me just rent for 6 months to a year before I buy. Not going to happen. Not going to happen now. Not going to happen in 6 months. Probably not going to happen in a year. You really need to consider what the plan is and your options of buying a house before you get here and letting our team help you, because we do a lot of virtual buying, or getting here and getting an apartment, because there's plenty of apartment inventory.
Right.
Problem is the apartments cost as much as a house right now. Like that's the other thing, that price is creeping up too, because really at the end of the day, nobody's moving. So if nobody's moving out of these rental houses, there's no inventory for rentals either. So now you're moving into town going, hey, I've got a big dog and I've got a big suitcase and I'm ready to get a rental house. And they're like, yeah, nice job, honey. There may be a bunch online, but trust me, as soon as you hit apply and you pay your money, you'll never hear from them again. Like that's just really what's happening, because there's just so many people that want to move here. I don't know the percentage lift. I know about 2 years ago, we were getting 77% of our new residents each month from California. Mm-hmm. Right now, I'm going to guarantee you we're probably seeing that a little bit higher. But on top of California, we've got people moving here from Texas, from Florida, from New York, from all over the country. So it's not just our California buyers anymore. Mm-hmm. Now we're seeing, and we've always seen a little bit of a mix, but now we're really seeing an increase, which is, again, pinching down on the interest rates. Not the interest rates, pardon me, pinching down on the inventory. Started with an I was close. Inventory. And then you've got people who are frenzy trying to buy any inventory that's available for sale. They're willing to pay whatever they got to pay to get in, right? They got to have somewhere to live. Now you see this lift in prices. It's just this cyclical effect that I don't think people are really getting that what's happening.
Right. Yeah. A lot of people, may not understand the whole, how the low interest rates affect, how inventory affects these things. Mm-hmm. They might just see these. So they see the negative news.
Buzzwords, yeah.
Yeah, they see the negativity on the news, but they see these prices are up, and they understand a disconnect, but they don't understand necessarily what's going on
or how it works for you, right? Like how it could work for you. Yeah, truly. The other thing, so the inventory is really low, right? Obviously, we don't have enough houses to sell, so there's a lot of people encouraging people who already live here. Hey, if you've been furloughed, if this, that, or the other has happened, like now might be the time to sell, so you can at least live on that, right? Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, I foresee us seeing, once the loan forbearances that were allowed, once those expire, which could be in the next few months, to where the lenders are like, hey, we got to start collecting money here at some point for these houses. Once those forbearances expire, I foresee our inventory creeping up a little bit. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to completely correct. I don't think we're going to have immediately 7 months worth of homes on the market and everybody's going to be great and everything. All the prices are perfect. But I do foresee us seeing in the springtime an influx of listings, which will give a little bit more of an option. And I would say the spring starts here in Vegas around end of February. Like spring starts pretty early in this city. So once we see a little bit more inventory hit the market, I think that'll ease off the gas a little bit on the prices. But to be honest with you, I don't know. I really think we've got a good another year under our belt of seeing this massive boom growth, maybe even further. I know the interest rates were told to us by our good friend Amber, the loan officer from Guild Mortgage, that she said the Fed said something like between the next 15 to 18 months that they plan on keeping those pretty low. And then on top of that, we've got people who are going to hopefully be getting vaccinated and getting their jobs back, and the job growth can maybe continue. So I'm hoping that we'll see things even out. But right now, we are a very imbalanced teeter-totter that is that's just trying to keep up with the demand.
Yeah, so I mean that's actually you segued on your own
really
into 2021. I was going to talk looking forward into 2021. It sounds like we're going to be, as far as real estate prices and home prices and that kind of thing, a lot of it's going to be similar situation to what we're seeing right now.
Yes.
Because those interest rates being kept low. With even if interest rates were a bit higher, we still don't have a big inventory to begin with. So
it's already a frenzy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so you kind of have the extreme of low inventory and the extreme of low interest rates right now. That's probably going to set. It's probably going to take some time for this to get back to, you said, a more
balanced out.
Yeah. Right, a more even playing field, or more balanced out is probably a better way to put it.
Where we offset it a little bit, and because I don't want it to be doom and gloom, right? That's actually a really big positive thing for our city. For us realtors, it's like, what are we gonna do? How do we find this person a house? But that's our job to worry about, right? But I think where we balance it out, and we talk about this a lot, we do a lot of this, is new homes, right? Building a house from scratch. So a lot of people are scared of that concept, or they don't want to deal with what maybe goes into it, or they think they can't afford it, or they just don't know how it works. We're here for you. There's a link below. Click it. We would love to help answer those questions. But I think the new home communities and how we have so much building happening is going to help us with that inventory as well. But there is a lumber shortage or a lumber supply chain issue that's happening right now that is delaying those as well. So it's like the entire universe has been affected by this, and it's affecting housing more than anything here in Vegas on all fronts.
Yeah.
But we do have the ability to lean into that a little bit. So don't let it discourage you, obviously, if you're thinking about moving here, because there's still options. We just need you to be ready and prepared for what the fight might be, or the uphill battle a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we gave a pretty good synopsis.
I hope so. We're really, I guess the only other thing is we're really just excited about 2021 for a number of reasons. I think all of us are. We're just ready to get out of this hot damn mess of a year. But I'd say the biggest thing I can give you, the biggest advice I can give to anybody is don't wait to call. Don't wait to reach out. Don't wait or think you're going to research it on your own and figure it out. There's so much misinformation out there. Everyone's out there trying to get a buck. They've all got their hand out. We're here for free. We're a free resource, and we want to be a free resource because we want to answer the questions that you need to make the decision for your life. We will straight up tell you, might not be a good time to come, or we might say, you better hurry up because prices are going to go up. But the other thing I want to talk about is the prices. Do you mind? Sorry.
Go for it.
I don't want you to be afraid. We are not at California $1 million prices for a 1,200 square foot condo. That's just not where we are. Will we be there in 20 years? Maybe. Who knows? We are still very much relying on appraisals, and lenders are not going to give you a loan for a house that doesn't meet the appraised value of what you're asking, or if they do, then you're going to have to pay the difference. So there's a little bit of that, but let us explain that process to you. The prices are not skyrocketing. We are still an extremely affordable place to live. Our tax structure is amazing. We do have awesome things to do here. Yes, the Strip is looking a little different these days, but it's going to get back, I promise. But just don't be discouraged. The prices are going to slide up like they always do normally. We're not seeing massive spikes. We might see a couple, but I don't think it's going to be crazy. We are going to see more inventory hit the market, which is great. But at the end of the day, I think having someone here, an advocate here, someone who can help answer your questions, not everyone's questions, makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just try to be a good resource. And also, once I start going, I don't stop. Sorry.
I know. So I think we've covered a lot.
Now I've covered even more.
Yeah, for 2021, and what you can kind of expect, what we think looking forward. I mean, 6 months from now, who knows? Maybe the picture will change.
Yeah.
But that's one thing that's been throughout 2020. And will be going into 2021 is a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, and positivity though on our side. I think growth is always good. It's just knowing what you're going into is really important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So guys, Laci has been awesome.
I'm trying.
Yeah, she covered a lot. So remember, guys, you want to get in touch with her team. You're looking to move here to Las Vegas or just to buy a home here in the Vegas Valley, anywhere that may be. She can help you out. She got a whole team of people. Yes. So guys, links down below. You can get a hold of Laci and the team. Yes. So thank you guys for checking out this video. Thank you guys for being so awesome. Thank you, Laci, for coming on.
Thanks, Jacob.
That's going to be it for this video. I am Jacob.
I'm Laci.
And this is My Life in Vegas.